Hi everyone, my name's Anna. Welcome to this card making project. In this project we're going to do a little bit of fretwork cutting, we're going to do lots of paper folding, and we're going to make a stunning card that's very different, all using Anna Griffin products. You're going to love this one. Might be a long one, so sit back, relax, get a cuppa, kick your slippers off and let's have some fun. So the first thing I've got is my card base. Everything I use I'll put in the description box below. If you're watching on YouTube, click the word show more and you'll see everything. If you're watching on my blog, all the details will be in front of you. So this is my blank card. It's 6 by 6 inches wide and I'll show you how that looks on the cardometer. It's just smaller than the 7 by 7 and bigger than the 5 by 5. Now, for any new viewers, they'll be thinking, well, obviously it's smaller than the 7 by 7 and obviously it's bigger than the 5 by 5. But this gives you an idea of the space that you're working with so that you can get a rough idea. You might have cardstock of 5 by 5 and think, oh, I haven't got the 6 by 6. So this just shows the size of the area that it's going to be. And that was an idea from one of my viewers a long time ago last year. And she asked to be able to see roughly what size the card was that we're working with. So I'm going to start off with giving the card a good sharp score with my bone folder. And I'm going to turn straight away to the inside. I've already stamped a piece of Ivory cardstock stroke paper. It's just slightly heavier than a text weight. Comes in roughly 160 to 180 GSM. I've stamped it using one of the darker pink inks from Anna. Now I'm sorry, it's an older ink pad was this, so it isn't in one of the collections that we're using at the moment, but I'm sure you might have an ink pad that you could use to match. I've used one of the 22 clear birthday stamps and it says for your special day. I've already got 3D flat double-sided tape on the back of this and I'm simply going to peel it away and then we can stick this to the inside of our card. So we'll just do that and then we're going to cut in to the fretwork die because we're going to make our own inside embellishment to match the outside. So we're just going to put the card to one side for the moment, because what we're going to do is we're going to make this from our die cut. Now the die cut I'm using is the large square fretwork die. This was, I think it was in set 1 a long time ago. You only need to die cut it once and emboss it. I haven't embossed this, but we're going to use the corners for the outside of the card and then we're going to use the inner section, this section, for the inside. So I just want to show you how I've cut the corners for the outside because it's very simple and it saves wasting part of your die cut if you're only using one section. So I've simply taken this section from the corner and you do that for all 4 of them and you put those to one side because you're going to need those for the front of the card. Now I'm going to do them very quickly because I want to get to the centre section to show you how we've cut that. You don't need to be able to fussy cut or anything. You're simply snipping it away from both sections and then you're left with 4 parts from the corners. Put those to one side because you'll need them for the front of the card. So for the inner section, then you simply snip around all the little bits that we've left on, following the line, taking your time and just simply having fun and snip it all away, following the pattern, and eventually you're left with that part. You can see how it's coming on. So eventually you're left with that section. And that's the section we want for the inside of our card. And we're going to take that, and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue at either side and either dots. And then I'm going to position that over where we've stamped our for your special day. So we're just going to pop that over, press it down. I've got a little bit of a glue run, so I'm just going to take that away, because when I fold it shut it'll mark it. So there we go, and that is the inside of our card done. Really pretty so far, very simple as well. So let's turn to the outside of the card. Now I'm going to give it another score, as always, and the first thing we're going to do is add a base layer. This is one of Anna's foil layers, the metallic foils. I've trimmed it to fit, with my card not being a true 6 inches, because in the foil layers you get 6 by 6 inches and 7 by 5. So I've just slightly trimmed mine so that it'll fit on the front of my card, like that. Now the next thing I've done is where we've got the corners, I've already cut mine, and I'm going to add just a little bit of glue on the back. Now I could have run them through the Xyron machine, but you'd be sat here waiting, watching me peel them all away and the back of them. So I'm simply just using the wet glue for quickness, like that. And we're going to add one in all 4 corners. So I'm hoping that one is not going to stick. I was going to say I'm hoping that one's going to stick, but I don't think it is. So we'll just add a little bit more glue and add that there. Hold it down for a second. So let's do the next one and pop that in the corner. So you can see we're building up all 4 corners, and it looks quite dramatic so far because of the black on the pink. I think it's such a good combination as this, and this is going to be a great combination of papers as well. So you would be able to do this using your scrap papers for what we're about to do next, because paper folding, you can use any amount of scrap. Once you've cut them into size, it doesn't matter, you can mix and match, and you know any of Anna's papers are going to look great. Okay, so those are my 4 corners. I'm going to put this to one side now just for a minute. Next we're going to do some paper folding. So I've cut some squares, and these are 2 inches by 2 inches wide. Now I'm going to say I've cheated because I've got a die that's 2 by 2 inches, and my die has got a stitched edge. It's not an Anna die, it's my own personal die, and I purchased it from that large auction site. But it just helps me to be able to cut these out a bit quicker, rather than having to cut everyone by hand, because you can imagine how many I have to do. So it just helps me with my preparation a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our die cuts for our little squares, whether you've cut it by hand or using a die, and we're going to fold it corner to corner, and then we're going to bone fold the crease in, and then we're going to flip each side to the centre. And when you get to the centre, you waggle it just a little bit so you have a gap, just a tiny gap between them. and then bone folder again, so that we've got a little square that's got kind of like ears like that. And I'm going to show you again, just, you know, show you twice. So it's corner to corner, make sure they're nice and neat and even, fold it, bone folder. If you haven't got a bone folder, use something, you know, side of a pencil, side of a pen, and then one corner just up to the centre, a millimetre off, and then second corner up to the centre and leaving that little gap between them like that. Okay, so that's our paper folding squares. I've shown you in a green paper, but I've actually been using the black rose collection. So what I've done already was I cut a circle in Ivory cardstock, and I added flat tape around the edge, and then I started adding them, the little squares. And when you add them, you simply, between the two corners there, slot one in so it goes under the cardstock like so, and one above. So you're slotting it between the actual paper. So you've got a section on top and underneath. And then you simply add them to the circle all the way around like that. And I'll just pop the last one on. Now, if my counting was correct, if I remember correctly as well, I think there was 9 that we folded and made for this. Add the last one. I just want to go on. Just change my hands round. There we go. Pop that on like that. Stick it down. Oops. So now we've got our folded paper. So that wasn't too difficult. I'm going to peel off the rest of the tape that I've got on the back that's holding the rest of my paper squares on. And you can see that it's starting to build in shape now once we put this on. And there we go. So we'll pop that onto the centre like that. Press it down. Next, what I've got is to go in the centre one of Anna's vellum stickers, and this is one of the large vellum doilies. I've already taken the time to take away the little bits that are between the pattern. So, and I'm just going to place this in the centre of our flower like that and press it down. Next, what I've got to finish the card is a sentiment sticker that's in, it was in one of the older packs that I had, but there's plenty in the new ones that are coming, and it's just in a flower shape and it says Friends Forever. And I'm going to pop that into the centre of the card and straighten it up, Anne-Marie. There we go. And that finishes off our card perfectly. So you've got the depth of the paper folding, you've got the black that's standing out. If it has to go in an envelope, it will all fold flat like that, because all the petal papers will fold flat. The only thing that's 3D is your sentiment in the middle, because again, we're all conscious of how much we pay for postage. That's the inside, matches perfectly with the black fretwork on the outside. Such a pretty card. Very easy, very simple, but very, very striking. And I do hope you've enjoyed watching this. If you've got anything to say, any comments, anything that you'd like to know, please feel free to get in touch. Please give me a like and please, please, please share. So I'd just like to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.